So, for all those that were waiting for the Snyder Cut of Justice League, bad news. Uh, the Snyderverse is actually not not going to be kept up in the DCEU. It is actually canceled, apparently, from what the Warner Brothers CEO and Sarnoff has said. And this is what she says. Says, I appreciate that they love Zack Snyder's work. We are very thankful for his many contributions to DC. We're just so happy that he could bring his cut of Justice League to life because that wasn't in the plan until about a year ago. With that covers the completion of his trilogy, which means his trilogy of meaning Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and now his Justice League. She continues saying that we're very happy we've done this, but we're very excited about the plans we have for all the multidimensional DC characters that are being developed right now. Like, for instance, New Gods uh, is coming out. Um, the Flash movie is supposedly supposed to be here. Um, Aquaman 2, the Batman's still supposed to be here, even though it's not part of the DCEU. We're still waiting for that Joker sequel. Um, so will there be a Justice League 2? Who knows? All I know is probably Zack Snyder's not going to be directing it. But of course, just like the release of Snyder Cut hashtag, fans have been actually spamming the Twitter tag hashtag save the Snyderverse, which I said this multiple times uh, on my Facebook. I said it on somebody's YouTube channel about a couple of days ago. That this, I said, this is just another cut of another movie that DC made that's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't do anything to the universe. But the good news is that Ben Affleck is still going to be Batman. Henry Cavill is going to still be Superman. Gal Gadot is going to be Wonder Woman, and Ezra Miller is supposedly supposed to be still Flash, even though it was said that we're supposed to have Wally West. So who knows? So again, uh, the DCU is just another jumbled mess of just pure, I wouldn't say garbage, but pure anarchy. Like, and this is what happens when a movie studio has their universe, like I said, been saying this. Lots of people have been saying this. Sorry about that, folks. It's what happens when a universe, uh, when a studio is late to put their universe in. I mean, sure, it lasted longer than the uh, Universal Monster universe. Um, Which, by the way, no, it doesn't mean that that universe is still not going. There's still movies about it. That's about the monsters. Excuse me, that's coming. Um, which I might make a video about that too. Um, but yeah, so it's a bittersweet moment for Snyder fans because yes, their Snyderverse cut finally, they're what people say true in quotation mark Justice League uh, movie out. However, the Snyderverse is just a distant memory. All we have for it is Man of Steel, BVS, hit well Snyder's cut of the BVS, um, and the theatrical cut, if you want to put that in, and his Justice League. Now, would it have been the same if he wouldn't have left? And by the way, it wasn't his fault. His daughter committed suicide. Really bad for him, but and if Joss Whedon wouldn't have took the mantle, would the Snyderverse still be a thing? Who knows? I'm 100% sure it would, um, but his daughter's death was um, not under his control. So all we have left is just his trilogy. I mean, I feel like that's enough because, granted, yes, I have some distaste for Zack Snyder, but would I have been curious to see what would happen um, after the fact of Justice League? Like, for instance, his Justice League 2 or so on, then yes. I mean, I could ramble on how he doesn't know comics and that his slow motion shots are fucking so like every slow motion shot. Like he had watch Watchmen and his just it I just had a break from it. I didn't finish it, but I will. I will. It's just the slow motion shots that's like just got me like, oh my god, like it's just bad. But the gray colors and not many colors at all. That's mostly my whole negative aspect for Snyder. Excuse me. I feel bad for his fans. I think they have been robbed of seeing their seeing the rest of their verse that they wanted. But of course, and some people were calling WB fools. Uh, I'm sure people are angry. But of course, like I said, this wouldn't change anything. It's just another cut of a movie. Like a universe has what 3 different cuts of a movie. There's the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, which I haven't seen yet. There's Snyder's cut of BVS there, and now there's like Snyder's Justice League cut. Um, of course, if you have all those alternate cuts, going, the universe is going to suffer. So, sadly, the Snyderverse, like I said, it's just a distant memory and the total dumpster fire of the DCEU. And by the way, I'm not a DCU hater. I actually like some of their movies, but yeah. Remember that time? I remember that time when people were like, remember that time where, excuse me again, um, remember that time where people said that after, I believe it was Justice League, or it was, yes, it was Justice League, that the DCU should have just had a entire reboot, like uh, a full on reboot, and just redone everything. And I am still adamant on that, but sadly, that's not going to happen now. Well, I mean, who knows? The Flash movie's still there, but of course, I was kind of iffy about them using Flashpoint. Um, to reboot their universe, but now I kind of feel like it's necessary. However, like I said, the original Justice League members and just uh, Jason Momoa is still going to be Aquaman. Um, it's just really bad on both sides because you have like a universe that you have this guy that, hey, I have vision and it's not going through, and you have this other side where it's like we have these other projects to do, and that's, of course, I said this again for the DCU. They make projects. They have too many things on their plate. They have too many projects. Like for instance, um, when they did Suicide Squad, then they did BBS, and then they did Wonder Woman, and then they were going to be like, let's do uh, Justice League. Which, by the way, still, this is actually another complaint that I have about Zack Snyder. Um, of having so let's talk about Superman's death, right? So Superman, the death of Superman was a comic book in the 1990s. Like 92 maybe? I don't know. But you know the story if you don't. Superman fights Doomsday and they both kill each other. So and then issues, and it takes several issues, like many issues, many stories for him to come back. And during that time, we had Cyber Superman, we had Superboy, the second Superboy, which, by the way, Clark Kent, the original Clark Kent Superman, was Superboy in the Silver Age continuity of uh, DC Comics, which was Earth 2, I guess, or Earth 1. I don't even know anymore because of this whole fucking uh, universe thing that DC has. But anyway, let's go many years later. and Zack Snyder makes Batman versus Superman, and he puts Doomsday in there for some reason because he likes the stories. Because that's another complaint that he really doesn't know his comic book knowledge, but that's you know a lot of people uh, say that about him. But anyway, so at the end of Batman vs Superman, spoiler alert, um, Batman, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman try and defeat Doomsday. Um, Superman dies by getting a, Batman's kryptonite staff, stabbing Doomsday. He gets impaled too. He dies. Then cut to like let me see when the original Justice League came out. Give me a second. 2017. Like cut to like 1 year later, and Zack Snyder's vision. And no, this wasn't Whedon. Was to bring Superman back a year. So like yeah, and it took multiple years for him to come back in the original comic. See, this is what I'm talking. I don't. I kind of don't want him to have the rest of his vision, but then again, I kind of do because I want to see what happens. So there was a history lesson. Um, yeah, but the Snyderverse is dead, as a character once said in a movie where he fought a fucking guy in a bat suit. I'm gonna quote it. I'm gonna um, say my own quote to it. The Snyderverse is dead. Bury it. Sad but true.